Good evening, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. And I hope the audio is a bit better now. Spent a bit of time this evening trying to rectify the sound quality. I'm going to change the battery. I believe the audio is now sorted. Right, let me get my tools out, get the finger cots on. We can basically carry on from where we were yesterday. Finish off the Tudor. And maybe we'll get on to, what was it? The Amiga, the 565. Yeah, hopefully the audio is now a little bit more suitable. Have to excuse me, need to get my tools out before we can carry on. It's a bit of a late start today. But I hope everyone's having a wonderful evening. Probably be on for, again, about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. We shall see how the evening goes. But the goal is to get the Tudor finished and then make a start on that 565, assuming that the donor movement is suitable. I need to check the mainspring. If it's good, we'll use that mainspring and we can get that Amiga done. Almost tempted to get my own tools purely for working from home, rather than having to take my tools back and forth between home and London. Right, here is the Tudor, still ticking. I haven't wound it since yesterday. She's going away nicely. Let me just adjust the camera. Make sure focus is all good. And please do tell me if the audio is better. I believe it is. I believe our audio is much better now. Okay. So here is the Tudor. Still haven't given it any additional power yet or wind. And it's ticking lovely. You didn't watch before, so you haven't got any comparison? Not to worry, my friend, not to worry. Now we did get the automatic assembled, so basically all we have to do for this watch is do the dial side, get the motion work going. Yes, audio sounds good. Fantastic. Yeah, I was digging into exactly how I could increase it. There seemed to have been an additional settings within, I guess, the mic's properties on OBS, which allowed me to boost it a bit more. So I can still go up more if required, but I think this is okay. I think this is a good setting at the moment. If it needs a bit more, let me know. I'm going to post a community update letting subscribers know that I'm streaming. You're too kind. Far too kind. Thank you. I'll be on for about an hour or two, I reckon. Winding's still good. Yeah, I think the audio issue is now sorted. It only took a week. Where's my rod go? There we go. I'm not particularly fond on setting the dial up on this particular caliber, mostly because of a U-shaped spring. I can very easily ping out. So I'm a little bit nervous for that. I'm sure it'll be fine. May have to use some Rodico just to hold it down as I get everything in position. Sorry, just making sure the focus is okay. And we'll start by greasing the posts, and we'll slowly make our way around to getting the dial on. Just misplacing everything. It's my eyeglass. Let's begin. It's a very similar setup to the 2824, and obviously being one of its predecessors, it's going to have similarities. For those of you familiar with the 2824, you'll be able to tell or see the resemblance. can't remember if I've got the case clean on this watch. It may still need cleaning. I'll have to double check. If it's still dirty, I can temporarily case it up and clean the case later. It's not the end of the world. So this is the spring I'm not looking forward to fitting. Mostly because nothing holds it down whilst I'm getting everything set up for the date disc. And you run a good possibility of losing it. Or at least that's burned in my memory from past times. I hope that by increasing the volume of the audio or the mic, it's not affecting anything else to do with the mic's quality. Because I'm hoping all it's done is just raised the volume and it hasn't messed with anything else. I did do a test stream, privately obviously, and it sounded like everything was okay. But you'll be the real judge of that, and please do let me know if it needs further adjusting. Right, we are getting to that point when I feel a sneeze coming. Darn allergies, man. Hay fever. Okay, you can't really see what I'm doing at the moment, but I'm just getting everything in position and ready for when I want to put it onto the movement. But you can't really see that whilst I've got the camera zoomed in, so I do apologise. Time to remember how this goes together. Sounds great. Thanks for doing this. That's awesome that it's sorted out now, the audio. And my pleasure. Actually, let me just... Yeah, let me put this plate down first. I may have to put the date disc in. Bit of a trip down memory lane with some of these watches. Haven't worked on some of these calibers in years. What movement is it? It looks ETA. I'll have to get the caliber for you, because I don't think it's actually marked on the plate. I don't think it's marked on there, or underneath the balance. I don't think. But I've had to look it up a few times recently, just from doing estimates in London, and I've just googled Tudor Oyster Prince date, I think it was. Sorry, Tudor Prince Oyster date. And you'll be able to find the caliber there. And the reason it looks very ETA-like is because it's the predecessor of the 2824. Or at least there's so many striking similarities that I'm going to refer to as the predecessor to the 2824. I've gone a bit too far here. Okay, that's where it goes. Cool. I can hear my screwdriver squeaking. Have to oil them up a little bit. It's interesting that Rolex created Tudor and used ETA movements. Yeah, I mean, it was always the more affordable, quote-unquote, Rolex. So corners had to be cut, and I know now they're making their own in-house movements. I'd like to have a Tudor. I would too as well. I'm looking at the Panda Dial Black Bay chronograph. They look lovely. I would own a Tudor quite happily. Wouldn't be as afraid to work on as I am to work on a Rolex. Rolexes are easy, especially the modern ones. You've got nothing to worry about on the modern day Rolexes. Easy. You'd have no problem. I've seen some of the watches that you've worked on your channel. Honestly, the Rolexes 3-1s, 15s even, you'd be fine. Yeah, the 3-1s are a real easy, simple setup. Yeah, you'd have no problem with that. Okay, this is where things can go very wrong. Because once I get this spring into position, I want to work fast to get the cover on. Because that's just going to want to ping the whole thing out. Okay, it's in. Ooh. As soon as I took the pressure off, I saw it lift up. Okay, let's take it easy. Okay, that cover plate's in position. And it's screwed down. Okay, we can breathe. The amount of times I've done that and it's just pinged the whole thing out, it's just raised the whole date disc, or I may have even done it in the past without the date disc, and it's just fired that spring out. But that went very smoothly. I am very happy. So all we have left now is the hour wheel, and then we can fit the dial. I've been putting a large ring around my work area when I do springs lately. Keeps them from getting off the bench. Yep, there's one way of doing it. Because obviously the watchmaker's benches have a groove around the edge, try and catch any loose parts. I'll try and show you. So around here at the back is a little channel, a little groove, and that goes all the way around. Whole idea being, if you do drop something, it'll land in there before it lands on the floor. Alas, it doesn't always work. Changing movement holders. Fit the hour wheel. Use a ring that's about 4 inches in diameter. Not sure I've seen one that kind of size. Is it one that you use at the moment? I have to check out some of your videos. And see if I can identify, because I've not necessarily seen one in practice of that size. Okay, that's basically all of motion work on. Everything on the dial side is now ready. So I'm going to loosen the 2 dial feet screws, and we can fit the dial. You don't think it's in any videos? Not yet. Yeah, I would say, I mean, for the time being at least, I'm just gonna keep going as I am, with just hoping that I don't drop anything or nothing goes missing. I don't spend, it's not too often I drop something, but it does happen. It happens to all of us. Right, let me get this dial fitted. There we go. Okay. It's a bit awkward getting it lined up there, but we've done it. I'm just gonna put on this cam. It's the acrylic riser that allows you to stack the Bergeron movement parts. Oh, okay, yeah, following. You can also use a hamburger cutter, which is stainless steel ring, but about the same size. Yeah, look, if it works. Can't knock it if it works. I'm just going to tighten up those dial feet screws. There we go. No, the dial is starting to show its age a little bit. The light's just kind of glaring. Maybe if I take it off a little bit. It looks almost more gold in colour on the camera, but it's a silver dial. It's not champagne. Need to post a short video? No, it's all good, don't worry. No stress. We're just here chilling. No need to worry. Okay, the one thing I didn't check before I put the dial on was making sure the date turned over. So I guess we'll find out with the hands on, or as I'm going to set the hands. I'm also going to try and find that case. I know where it's going to be. Give me 1 second. Okay, so it doesn't appear that I have cleaned the case just yet, sadly. I can still case it up, clean it later, so I can at least show you what it looks like with it in the case. Not an issue. As long as the inside's all clean, which it should be. I just see some dirt build up on the inside of the lugs. So I'll leave it in the ultrasonic after the stream, get it cleaned properly. It's not an issue. So now what I'm going to do is just turn the hands around until the date disc turns over. And that will mark midnight, which is where I'll set the hour hand. And there she goes. The date just jumped, so I will now put the hour hand straight to 12. I'm going to be a little bit more lenient on when the date changes over. It is a vintage watch, it is older, so I'm not going to hold it to the same expectations as a modern Tudor or Rolex, but still try and get it within that 5-minute window. Going round. So it might have been after. I'll try it again. Starts to change. I think that is pretty much bang on. Might be slightly after 12, but I might be able to shift it just by pressing it down and twisting a tiny bit to the left. Nope. And the camera shut off. Actually, we're not using that one at the moment. Just make sure I've got the hand down nicely. So we've got the printed rose at 12 o'clock, and that's what I'm using as a guide. I'm trying to set the hand straight in the middle of the rose. Fun fact, Rolex owns 10% of the building I live in Geneva. Really? Well, damn. Rolex are owning residential properties? Or percentages of residential properties? I didn't know that. Now that I'm happy with how the hour hand is set, I'm going to set the minute hand. There we go. You live inside a Rolex. 10% of a Rolex. Okay, so we went off maybe just around the 5 minutes too. So I'll take that. We could try and get it a bit more perfect, but as I said, it's an older watch, it's vintage. And I think even the 2824s, at least a lot of them, you'll tolerate them to about 5 minutes before and after 12. Seconds hand can do with a little bit of straightening, so I'm just going to play with it a little bit. Just straightening out a little tiny bit. I'll tell you the other watch I've been thinking about getting. I shoot watches, which is the Zenith El Primero chronograph with an open heart. Which I think is a lovely watch. Yeah, this one, it will gradually change and then snap at the end. So it will start to go, and then at the very end it will click over. Let me just make sure. Get a solid base for the seconds. I may have straightened out too much. I need to raise it a little bit, otherwise it's going to hit the minute. Fantastic. All right. So the movement is now done. I'm going to case it up. I'm going to clean the case later, but just to kind of show you how it looks with it cased up, kind of get a feel for the finished result, and I'll take it out, clean it later. It's not terribly dirty. Yes, that's a Grail, the Zenith El Primero. It's a beautiful watch, and I do have a soft spot for the open hearts, where you can actually see the balance moving. Where's my rubber ring? There it is. You know Lawrence Bodeman? She works for Zenith Heritage. Ooh. Super nice lady. Is that a link to, I guess, a website? I might have to give this a quick wipe on the inside. You agree about the open hearts as well? There's just something very artistic about it. It's more subtle than a full-on skeleton. But it's still able to capture, well, the beauty of the balance. I just need to get my puffer. I haven't taken it out yet. Okay, I'm just taking out the stem and crown. That's how it's going to look with the case. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be putting links in chat. Put myself in notice for that one. One more time, I ban myself for 5 minutes. As long as you're not sharing viruses, I think I'll be fine. Okay, just flipped it back over. We've got to fit this little casing ring, or movement ring. I am running a bit low on Fomba Lube, so I'll have to top that up tomorrow when I'm at work. It's just to lube up the threads and the gaskets. Yeah, I'm running a bit low. And gently wiggle the stem back in. Might unscrew it just a tiny bit more. There we go. Hoodwinking could be considered a virus. Well, I'll be cautious on clicking any links that you provide with Hoodwinky then. Okay, so I was going to put in the 2 case clamp screws and clamps, and then I got the automatic assembled. Then in order to fit the rotor, you have to screw it from behind the automatic itself. So let me get those 2 in place. Oh, okay, this isn't down all the way. There we go. So I haven't put any kind of restrictions on chat or messages. So there's no timer for how long you have to be following or watching in order to comment. So there shouldn't be any restrictions on, unless there's a default for it, which I haven't taken off. Alright, so first clamp in. Sorry, my hand's in the way there. Keep forgetting the angle I'm working with. Okay, so the movement is now clamped down in position. I didn't check the tube thread, but the crown does screw down nicely. And it's looking lovely. what's up with the cutouts and the back plates of the movement. Let me get on to the... Are you referring to here in the train? Is that where... We've got some holes here, which could very likely be cutouts for the back of the automatic. Let's rest that on there, because there's going to need to be space for some of this module here. Could possibly be that, if that's what you're referring to. Alright, let's finish off this automatic. We'll put the automatic on. Yeah, it looks like they've had to hollow out areas just to make room. Oh, my oils are looking low as well. I'm going to use my screwdriver. My screwdriver is now an oiler. So obviously on the 2824 you can just unscrew the rotor from the top, whereas this you got to do from the underneath, so you can't just take it apart from the top. Moves nice and freely. The last place I'm going to put oil is the pivot hole for the driving wheel, for the ratchet wheel. Now to make sure I get this the correct way. Pretty sure there's a specific hole. Okay, so that's how the automatic will sit. If you give me 1 second, I'll find out for you regarding the caliber. Give me 1 second. If you type in ETA 2462, I believe that's what this is. (2462) seems to be predominantly Tudor or used by Tudor. ETA 2462. Now, I thought I might have used the incorrect screws for the clamps, and I did. One's a bit longer. Use the shorter ones for the automatic, longer ones on the clamps. Easy fix. We'll just switch them over. I can even see, yeah, you can. There we go. First released in 1955. That sounds about right. Is there a date on this? So there is a date on the case back to 1965. So yeah, about a decade after that movement was released. Sounds about right. We have a problem. We had a problem. We fixed the problem. Okay. We've got some high spots. Oh, and now the balance has stopped. Very nice of Pam to give to Dick. You have some good names in there. A Richard of some sort. We have problems. So I get the automatic fitted and screwed down and it wants to stop, which is not good. Why do you want to stop, Mr. Tudor? Let's take you off for a second. This may require a bit more work and attention. Let's make sure it's all screwed down all the way. Still a little bit loose. Let's try again. So the clamp screws weren't fully tightened. I wasn't sure if something was pressing down from the automatic onto the balance itself. It's a possibility. Let's try that again. Maybe something wasn't quite lined up. Let's use my finger just to hold it down. That's strange, the stopping. I love solving mysteries like that. They can be fun until they're not. I'm going to scratch on my head for the next 3 hours. It's ticking there. Right, let me get the screws in. It'll probably fix itself. That's the dream. Sadly, it's only a dream. Especially these vintage jobs. Alright, me darling. Work with me. Still ticking. Still going. And she stops. Ooh, let's have a look. Right, you might not see much here because I'm going to go in with my eyeglass. I'll have to describe what I see if I see anything. Because what I'm imagining is happening is I'm tightening up the automatic and it's pinching down on top of the balance and got a lack of end shake, I imagine. If you're using the wrong screw, it could be too deep. That was initially what I had. I was using the incorrect screw for the what do you call it? Clamp screws, that's it, that's the word. But these screws I'm now using are not that deep. No, I make those mistakes all the time. Well, I say all the time, that's maybe an exaggeration. It happens. But I don't think it's the screws that are the issue. You know how we were talking about there being a recess within the train? I'm wondering if something's not quite lined up and we're hitting the bridge. Just got to think of all possibilities here. Could be this, could be that. Yeah, because this unit will go straight into this divot. I don't think it's the rotor, but we can test this theory by removing the rotor completely. Because what I was feeling when I was tightening the screws, best way I can describe it, it felt like there was flexing within the plate. Very slight, but more than I would expect. So I'm not sure if we've got a kink somewhere. Possible. I made a small adjustment as well to this little lever. Move it aside a little bit. Maybe it will help. Oh, you are full of surprises. Yeah, you see that? There you go. That's a massive wobble. That might be something not engaging. Could those two dual winding gears be reversed? No. If you're referring to these two, this is how they have to go. And the other two are just completely different sizes. Because only one of these wheels has a pinion on it. The other one's bare, which has to, well, the pinion wheel has to engage with the winders of, what should I call it? I can't. My brain's starting to go. I can't even think of the names. I did move the lever. Oh no, okay, it's not that. She stopped again. And then we loosen. And she's off. I may have to give it a bit more thought. One second. Hold up. Okay, actually, it may have just been me. Okay, those screws are now tight. Those screws are now tight. Something is sitting proud? Yes. I've just seen, yep, I've just seen it. It just clocked. So there's a small post at the back here, which kind of sits between the two plates. And it was sitting proud, it wasn't sitting down. No, well spotted. Very well spotted. So that was what, so yeah. It's sitting proud back here, which caused it to lift, pushing this side down on top of the balance. Bish bash bosh, solved. It's just me being a potato. Sadly, when I see an issue now, I almost think worst case scenario. So we've got a bend in the plate, we've got issues with end shake, we've got X, Y, and Z, but no, it's just a post that's not sitting correctly. Sitting proud is funny UKism. Perhaps. Perhaps it is. Oh, camera shut off again. Is it really not coming out? the other one? Get that one out. There we go. Yes, this post here. Oh, try and bring you back. This little post here, which is meant to sit in this area, and it was sitting proud. Just needed to press it in a bit more. As I said, that it looked like it was raised, but I didn't realise one of the posts wasn't properly located. Easy fix, no harm done. It's always interesting to see where my viewers are watching from. From Geneva, California. Alright, let me get this post in properly this time. It's just a bit stiff getting that post in. A little bit stiff. Is sitting proud an American expression too? I've never heard it in my 60 years. I'm not sure where it originates from or where I even picked it up, I'll be honest. There we go. Screwed down, balance is still going. I've heard of Sitting Bull and assume that he sat proud. I haven't heard Sitting Bull before. Right, but that is as far as I can really now get this one done. I need to clean the case, because we do have some dirt on, I guess, the lugs around the bezel. But in the meantime, I was going to put some fumbling around the thread for the case back. We'll put the case back on. We can put this aside for the time being. No major issues, just, yeah, that one post was a little bit stiff. Wasn't quite sitting right. Yeah, Sitting Bull's a new one to me. Let me just thread this case on. So, to Dick from Pam is dating 1965. So the 23rd of March. So we're approaching 60 years. Oh, camera's turned off. Come back. There we go. Let me see if I have a bracelet for this thing. I might just have the head. We have a bracelet. I just want to see how it looks with everything on. Do I have any idea if Dick still owns the watch? I don't know. I'll have to find out. Actually, give me 1 second. Doesn't appear so. I just checked the name on the job sheet. And Mr. Reeves now owns the watch. And no, it's not Richard Reeves. There's no Richard. No Dick. Hey, this is an old riveted bracelet. But you can kind of see the micro cam. The very early Oyster. I have to give it a little clean. But it's honestly not that bad. Right, well, that's this watch pretty much done. All I have to do is clean the case and test it. Just a minor hiccup with me not putting that plate down properly. And it's all good. Gents, I must depart. Thank you for joining, Robert. Hope you have a wonderful evening / night. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you very much for joining. How long have we even been streaming now? Just over an hour. I've got a bit more in me. Okay. Yeah, I'll get the case cleaned up and we'll sort that out later. Could be the son of Dick and Pam. Could very well be. Could be. Right, let me put this on the side because that's as far as I'm gonna get this one done for the time being. The glass could be polished up a little bit. Get the case cleaned, bracelet cleaned, test. Good to go. Well, there's more to do. The night's not over yet. No, the night's not done yet. On to the next one, I'm afraid. Yeah, Robert's left us. It's calling it a night. I know it's getting a bit late. It's what, 10 to 10 here? Right, I have a donor movement for this. Let me try and find it. I know I put it somewhere. I need to jump to. It's getting late over here. No worries, my friend. No worries. No, don't worry. It's been lovely having you here. I look forward to seeing you here when I stream in the future. I'll probably be alive tomorrow. We'll see. But so far it's been a good day. I'm just trying to find this movement. I know I've been given one as a donor. I'm trying to think where I've put it. I've misplaced it. No, thank you for joining. If I can't find the movement, I might have to call it a night as well. Because this is the 565, which had a broken mainspring. Found it, false alarm, don't worry. Donor has been found. Stream saved. That is assuming the barrel or mainspring's good in this thing. Yeah. Okay, this is the original case, the movement that we're working on. We'll put this aside for the time being. This is our donor. I just need to check the mainspring. If the mainspring's good, I'll take it out, clean it, we'll put it into the new, oh, not new, but into ours. Right, let's have a look. So this is just another Omega automatic Seamaster, which I believe is also 565. Well, I hope I've been given the right one. .562. It looks pretty much identical. I'll have a look. We shall check. 565, 562. I'm pretty sure they're interchangeable. So I'm just going to take this apart until I get down to the barrel. We'll check the mainspring. The mainspring's good. We'll clean the mainspring. We'll put it into the job that we're working on. That's the thing with older watches. We end up having to get donors and spare parts from other watches. it can be difficult getting bits for older models. It might be bust. I'm not convinced. That could be bust. I think it's bust. That's a shame. Oh no, this is gonna be. So I can't take the barrel bridge off completely because it's connected to our sweep second pinion, and the sweep second pinion obviously holds the second's hand. So does it have a second's hand? Oh wait, no, we are in luck. This watch has already been robbed of its second's hand. False alarm. So we can actually just take this off. Once I take off that spring, it's going to get in the way. This is a donor movement, so parts are already going to be missing. Sadly, it may be a donor movement because it's already got a broken mainspring, which is why it's here. Moment of truth. Busted. Ah, that's a shame. Okay. The sole purpose of having this movement was for the mainspring. Mainspring's bust. So that's a shame. I can't do anything more of this. Ah. Okay. I was hoping to get a bit more done today, but this has somewhat forced my hand until I get a mainspring for this watch. So I'm actually going to call it a night now. I'm not going to start anything fresh. It's 10 o'clock here. So we've been alive for nearly an hour and a half. So good going. I'm going to get that Tudor cleaned up, that case. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. I'm glad that the audio seems to have now been sorted out. And yeah, thank you all for watching. If you want to help, please like the stream, and yeah, I will catch you very likely tomorrow. Okay everyone, have a wonderful evening, wonderful night. I'll see you later. Good night.